Cricket time on the SportsMax Zone now. England are in a position to push for victory in the fourth Ashes Test at Manchester's Old Trafford after dominating the Aussies for a second consecutive day. Gerard Morris-Seeley has a recap.
England starting day 3 on 384 for 4, a first innings lead of 67 runs. It was evident the Englishmen were going to continue with the aggression. Ben Stokes and Harry Brook wasting little time getting into the groove. Stokes in particular was the main enforcer. He brought up his half-century in the 82nd over.
50 to the England captain.
Brook's half-century followed soon after, taking the score to 452 for 5.
That's 50 for Harry Brook.
Johnny Bairstow took control of the innings after Brook and Stokes piled on 122 runs in the first session. The wicketkeeper batsman's job was clear: power the English to a big lead. Josh Hazlewood was the brightest spark for the Aussie bowlers, taking 5 for 126, the second 5-wicket haul in the match. But Bairstow quickly rained on Hazlewood's parade, bringing up his 25th Test half-century.
Really well, there's a nice way to bring up your 50. A short-arm jab.
Australia seemed to have no answer for Bairstow's onslaught, and the right-hander continued to feed his appetite. But James Anderson's valiant effort in ensuring Bairstow gets to 100 was cut short, leaving him not out on 99, as England were dismissed for 592. Australian openers Usman Khawaja and David Warner taking the crease for a second time, with England leading by 275 runs. And again, Khawaja was the first to go, the spirit of the fourth Ashes Test continuing to haunt him. David Warner's change to survival mode equal his demise. There certainly will be questions about his place in the team.
Wilkes has done him. Bit of uncertainty from Warner outside the off stump.
Steve Smith was again asked to play doctor and stabilise the Aussie innings, but his effort was cut short. Mark Wood getting the better of him with a short delivery. Wood would get his third wicket of the innings so far. The short ball again reaping success. England dominating for a second consecutive day. Australia ending day 3 on 113 for 4.
One from the over
by 162 runs.
Will they get another one in? No, I think that's time. They've nipped the bails off, and that's another excellent day's cricket for England in particular.
Yeah, we're turning now to Fasir Mohammed to review the day's play. Faz, let me start here because at the end of the Lord's Test, McCullum, the English coach, had said, or the England coach, had said that the controversial dismissal of Bairstow would galvanise and fire the English team into a comeback in this Ashes series, and that's exactly what's playing out.
Indeed. I don't know if it's the dismissal of Bairstow that would have done it, because I think the English, as per usual, making a whole heap of noise about it when it was pretty straightforward. But again, you do what you have to do to galvanize the public and the media, because the fact of the matter is, Lance, and I think we've seen it as much as you wonder how long it can last. This ultra-attacking style has really thrown Australia completely off their game, to the point now where I think it's fair to say that they're praying for rain. Basically, they are requiring for there to be 2 days of rain and very little play for the series not to be too old going into the final test.
Yeah, I did suggest to you before the game started, Faz, that although the Aussies are leading this series, they appear to be the under-pressure team, given the atmosphere and the sort of pumped-up nature of this England team, not only the England team, but the entire atmosphere going into this Old Trafford test. And it's playing out here. You're looking at an Australia team now playing, and they don't look like the typical Aussies, you know, being, you know, this killer instinct and this believing in themselves kind of culture.
Yeah, they're very...
They've been rattled. They've been rattled.
Indeed, they have. And just look at that dismissal of David Warner, caught in two minds, playing on. Usman Khawaja seeming unsure whether he was caught behind or not. Travis Head undone by a short pitch delivery, and genuine pace from Mark Wood. And you would think that if there's any nation that is capable of handling genuine pace, it would be Australia, because they have a lot of fast bowlers, their pitches are fast and bouncy, but quite clearly, they've been thrown off psychologically, and again, the attacking play of Bairstow going after them. And I think what is off-putting as well is that it appears, at least on the outside, that from an England point of view, whether you get 99 not out or you get the 100, it doesn't matter. What matters is playing the game this ultra-attacking way in the hope of winning. And again, it appears only the weather can thwart them now.
Faz, what do you think contributed to the lack of effort that we saw from Australia with the bat? Because for me, that's what I saw. I didn't see the Australia that we're used to seeing.
I wouldn't say it's a lack of effort. I would say it is a conservatism and a cautiousness that is being exposed in contrast to what you're seeing from England, because for more than 100 years, you've grown accustomed to the English being very dull and very careful, very watchful, especially when it comes to Ashes series. There would be the odd occasion of flamboyant play, Ian Botham in 81, Andrew Flintoff, a few others along the way. So it's not carte blanche. But I think it's fair to say that the way England behave about an Ashes series, it's almost as if they're at a funeral, and usually it's their own. This time around, they're at a party. And it's almost as if they could care less whether there's 97 for 2 or 97 for 5. They're going to play their shots. And that has clearly thrown Australia. Yes, the Aussies were able to fight very hard and win the first 2 test matches. England have come back hard at them. And I think what you're seeing happening is an Australian team that, if not exactly shell-shocked, they're finding it very, very difficult to counteract this England style, which they felt they had gotten the measure of.
Okay, Faz, let's go to your backyard now, because it was a batsman-friendly day at the Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain, TNT as well. West Indies and India continuing their 100th duel in Test match cricket. The Windies once again showing some fight, this time in the final session, only losing 1 wicket. Faz, any positives to take from day 2?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, again, when you look at the West Indies 86 for 1, yes, it was a placid pitch. Well, if it were different, if it were Dominica, it would have been 86 for 4, 86 for 7. You never know. The fact of the matter is that we've seen the West Indies capitulate on placid surfaces when opposing teams have put up decent totals. They fought well to limit India. Excellent work by Alzari Joseph to run out Virat Kohli for 121, because Kohli was probably thinking double 100 in his 500th international match for India. But Warrican, Roach, 3 wickets apiece, the holder with the important wicket of Ishan Kishan. And then that final session where it could have all gone wrong for the West Indies, you saw a level of determination. And yes, the pitch is what I would describe as a turgid one. You might describe it as batsman friendly, and I understand the point that you're making, Lance, but even attacking batters, attacking players don't enjoy it. In fact, Virat Kohli was saying that the pitch is slow, the outfield is slow, the ball gets soft and makes it difficult to really play a shot. So it requires a tremendous amount of application, which is sort of like old-fashioned test match cricket, which may not attract a lot of people, but just the way that Kohli played and listening to him after the match. I hope every young player, West Indian or non-West Indian, would listen to Kohli's emphasis on fitness, physical fitness and mental fitness, which allows him to be where he is at the age of 34 and still as hungry as he is. So yes, the West Indies are well poised at 86 for 1, but with a total of 438, they can't afford to relax at all.
Right, and right now between the wickets we have Craig Brathwaite, skipper, and Kirk McKenzie. Faz, what did you think about the youngster making his debut? How does he look? I mean, he only got to 14 runs right now, but what do you think about his approach?
Well, obviously there's news, because his first scoring shot was an outside edge when he pushed at Jadeja, who got the wicket of Chanderpaul. Chanderpaul playing a false shot and being caught at point almost by Ashwin. But coming in at that point, just about 15 minutes to the close, you might have thought, well, okay, send in a night watchman, because you had Jomel Warrican padded up. But he came in, and credit to him. After that edgy, scratchy start, he got a 6 back over the bowler's head, got another boundary, a pleasing off drive. So that's encouraging, but it's just the beginning. It's only 14 runs, and he will have to tell himself that his template has to be Virat Kohli for this match, going on and doing what is required to get 100. He can take a lead from his captain and the determination of a Craig Brathwaite, but he's got to forge his own way forward. Like any young player, Alec Athanase and company have to tell themselves that the current standards of West Indies in Test cricket are just not good enough, and they need to set their own new standard.
Yeah, I want you to build a bit on the point, Faz, that you made earlier on, because I said it myself when the youngster came out to bat with 15 minutes of play remaining, just maybe 5 overs or so. How much consideration there would have been in the West Indies dressing room not to send this debutant out at such a difficult time, and you know, they must have, if only briefly, considered sending out a night watchman.
I'm sure they would have, because you're talking about 15 minutes to go, a young man, 22 years of age, first test match, nerves, and at that stage, Lance, it really doesn't matter about the pitch and the placid surface because it's all about nerves. And you could see it. The way he pushed at that delivery to get the edge. Had there been a second slip or a gully, he might have been caught. But the credit to the young man that he's there. He played a couple of convincing shots, and it's a test of character as well. The same way we saw Tejaran Chandapol in his first evening as a batsman for the West Indies, facing up to the Aussies and surviving a testing period. It's about seeing these players experience this, but doing a lot better and not being satisfied with 30s and 40s and the odd 50, but telling themselves when they're going to bat tomorrow that I'll be there at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'll be there. You sound like the Jackson 5, Faz. Not sure if you remember that song, do you?
Yes, I do. But one of the Jacksons is already gone. I don't know how many of them are still around. But I don't have a proper response to that one. You caught me this time.
Thanks, Faz. We'll talk to you on Monday, okay?
Take care.
Back on the SportsMax Zone after this. Yeah.